Thank you, Madam Speaker. And member for Fong Lim, if there was an award equivalent to the Grammy or the Oscar, you would win it. Because it was the member for Fong Lim who only a few months ago was a member of Territory Labor and was rubbishing every current cabinet minister for their poor performance as an opposition team. You had the member for Fanny Bay during the election campaign telling people the complete opposite of what the CLP's plan was to do. She wasn't telling people on the doors that she was going to put 10-year-old kids in prison. She said the complete opposite, as did the member for Fong Lim. So let's be very clear here. We want to talk about delivering. Then maybe every single one of you want to deliver something, deliver yourselves to your car and get your backsides out into the bush where you see what has been delivered. More roads sealed than any other government in the history of the Northern Territory. That was us. More houses built in any remote community in the history of the Northern Territory, delivered by us. The CLP, when the CLP was last in government, one brand new house in the last 2 years of your term. Nothing to be proud of. The only reason you will continue to see record investment across the bush is because Labor. Labor got that agreement settled, Labor got that investment into the remote communities, and Labor's legacy will continue well on between now and forever, when all of us are no longer in this place. You want to talk about delivering? You have delivered nothing for the environment, people. You got rid of the portfolio of climate change because you're a bunch of climate change deniers. Can't even talk about climate change. They're laughing now. The member for Sanderson's having a great old laugh at climate change because it just shows what he actually thinks about climate change. You put the environment portfolio in with the planning and the development portfolio because you don't care about any of the environmental protections. You don't care about preserving the environment. You only care about making money because you put profits before people. Shame on all of you. And I'm absolutely sick to death of people coming in here talking about Aboriginal people and making false accusations. The Uluru climb was closed at the wish of the traditional owners, not by any government. Don't come here and talk crap. Aboriginal people said that they didn't want it to happen. Aboriginal people said allowing people to climb on Uluru is like climbing on your church. Would you accept that? No. So don't expect Aboriginal people to expect separate treatment. The Mount Gillen climb in Alice Springs closed at the wish of the traditional owners because it's a sacred place for them. It's a spiritual place. That's what we've got to honour. That's what we've got to respect. But under this government, we're already seeing the attitude that they don't actually care about that. They're willing to sacrifice places of deep cultural and spiritual significance for development. That is not what this place should be about. That is not the place that we want to see. Now, let's talk about delivering, because this parliament last term delivered contemporary reform to the Domestic and Family Violence Act, strengthening the protections for domestic and family violence survivors, strengthening the laws so that people are protected. That was something that was delivered this term. Last term. The truth-telling grants rolling out so that Aboriginal people have an opportunity to tell their truth, to help inform and educate people in our community. Is there a problem with that? Because that's what's important. That's what needs to happen across the country, Madam Speaker. We do need to tell truth because it's part of true reconciliation, healing, and it's the only way we're going to move forward as a country is by coming together and working together. Delivering. You come in here and you say nothing was delivered. What do you say to the Aboriginal people right across the Northern Territory where they got delivered? New houses, roads, community courts back into remote communities that were cut under the CLP. Law and justice groups embedding Aboriginal people's voices into the justice system so that they can work with the judiciary, help inform appropriate sentencing options, help inform people around the cultural respect and the elements that need to be embedded. The arts trails that were delivered over the last 8 years, upgrading Aboriginal art centres across the community, showcasing Aboriginal creation stories, Aboriginal people's works. Aboriginal art is not just something that you buy. You're buying someone's story. You're buying someone's story. You are buying a story, you are helping them with a livelihood. For some people, it's their only source of income because they might not be on any other form of income. Community infrastructure, whether it's in town or in the bush, delivered last term. Important reform that we have seen and that we'll continue to see. In Alice Springs, the hospital accommodation for the nurses delivered. The hospital car park in Alice Springs delivered. But you've got the member for Breitling and Namatjira in here patting themselves on the back. She'll be right, mate. I'm a good bloke. We're saving Anzac Oval. But you're building a national Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander art gallery behind a sports field. What other national institution is hidden behind an oval with a fence on it? What does that actually say to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people? The CLP government does not value you or acknowledge you. You're behind a sporting oval. That's what they're doing, Madam Speaker. They've come in here and they've talked about delivering. The only thing that the government have delivered on this week is lies. Urgency for bail.
Take your seat, member for Guadja. What's your point of order?
Standing Order 31. He can't stand there and call this lies, that there are no lies, and he should withdraw it.
Member for Berkeley, he didn't call anyone a liar. He said that they were lies. So there's a subtle difference there. Member for Guadja, please continue.
Thank you. It's not lies. It's the truth. And the truth hurts, member for Berkeley. So I hope you hurt, because that is the truth. The truth is we've had a government come in here talking tough. And yeah, they have delivered on punitive, on harmful, on retrograde, back to the future policies that will not change the lives for anyone in the Northern Territory for the better. Locking 10-year-old kids up is not delivering for the better. It's going back to the future. Back to the future when kids were sitting in cells, not in programs. Back to the years when kids are in courts, not in country. Back to the years when kids have spit hoods. That's what they're delivering on. Punitive, draconian, old, failed policies that don't work because they're more interested in headlines. Populist policy. They made changes to the Bail Act that they told everyone in the community, we are serious about this, we're getting on with the job, we're getting it done. It doesn't start until January. What month are we in now, member for Berkeley, through the chair? We're in October, November, December, January. It's not urgent according to the government because it's delayed. Let's understand the landscape that we are in, Madam Speaker. We are here to represent everyone, and there have been things over 8 years that have been delivered. There have been things over the entire self-government that have been delivered for people in the Northern Territory. Now, they're all coming here and they all laugh at the car park, but yet every single member here, staff members, park in that car park that Labor built. They're parked there right now, all the staff, if they've got any staff that'll work for them. But this is where we are, Madam Speaker. We are worried about the environment because we have an Environment Minister who is also the Planning Minister, who is not talking about climate change, who got rid of the portfolio for climate change, and we have a Chief Minister who comes out and rubbishes Territorians for standing up against the environment and tells them to go home. Well, guess what, Chief Minister? They are home. They're not going anywhere. They are going to keep the pressure up because they're going to call for environmental regulations. They're going to call for safety of Territory kids. They're going to call for safety for all Territorians because everyone deserves it. And the Territory is home to many people. So when we start seeing that horrible language about telling people to go home, like this government refers to Aboriginal people as them, theirs and those people, that's what you're getting. That's what's been delivered to the Territory, a back-to-the-future government with no future, no idea, no plan, other than to go back with what didn't work. They talk about scrutiny and accountability, yet they're copying every other government prior to them around what they've done and excluding the independents from being involved in having a say.
Your
That's
time.
what you're getting under this government.